Hello everybody and welcome! Verdigris here again, taking a look at the Vengeance Demon Hunter and the changes that were introduced in Alpha Build 7.0.1.20994 for the World of Warcraft Legion Alpha. In this video I'll be looking through the Demon Hunter spellbook, then the revised talent trees, and then giving an opinion about what I think for the Vengeance Demon Hunter going forward as a tanking class. So with that said, starting this off, we'll go into the spellbook and look at some of the unchanged abilities in this build. Consume Magic has not been changed, still a ranged interrupt. Infernal Strike has not been changed, still is a Heroic Leap analog. It's going to be how we travel through the fight. It would be nice if we got something like Fell Rush that could share charges, maybe not do damage, but it would just be, I'm just jealous of those Havoc guys being able to dash through the air. So I'm not going to hold my breath for it, but it would be nice. Infernal Strike is great as it is and really fits with how the Vengeance tank is going to be moving about, because it's still a very mobile class and this will be a key ability in maintaining that mobility through a fight. Demon Spikes has not been changed. It is still a physical damage cooldown that's 10% plus mastery. Metamorphosis has been changed, so we'll get to that in a little bit. Fiery Brand has not been changed, still a single target, 40% damage cooldown. Shear has been changed in a big way, so we'll get to that in a while. Gateway to the Fellhammer is our class Order Hall teleport, has not been changed. All of our sigils have not been changed. Some of their utility has in the talent trees, so we'll get to that when we talk about talents. Glide has not been changed. We can still lower our falling speed when we pop out our wings. Immolation Aura has been changed, so we'll get to that in a moment. Soul Cleave and Shattered Souls have both been changed, really impacting our core gameplay, so we'll talk about that when we get there. Spectral Sight has not been changed. Torment, our taunt, has not been changed. Demonic Wards, our tanking passive, has not changed. Double Jump, obviously, has not changed. Throw Glaive is the first ability that we're going to be looking at that has had a change, and it's had a change that it's needed. It's probably one that was kind of forgotten about, an oversight when it was first put into the build. It finally got that threat modifier, making picking up snack aggro a cinch. Really great to have, really happy for this change, really makes this a useful ability to have on your bars again. Secondly, we'll look at Metamorphosis. It's had a whopping upgrade to 20-second duration. It still increases current and maximum health by 30% and generates 10 pain every 1 second, which is just icing on the cake because now pain generation is so much easier, so much nicer, and Metamorphosis just got that much stronger. Really happy, really excited about this change. Next change we're going to be looking at will be Immolation Aura. Still 12-second cooldown with a duration that doesn't last the full duration of the cooldown, but now it generates 20 pain over the duration. So every 12 seconds, that's 20 pain. It's kind of like where Fellblade used to sit. But because Shear has seen such big changes, Fellblade got removed. So Shear is now going to be our resource generator. Every shear you do generates 10 pain. So pain is coming in by the truckload between Shear and Immolation Aura. Immolation Aura now has a purpose in single target situations. Really happy about those changes. Also with Shear, there's a chance that a lesser soul fragment from the target will heal you for 10% of your health when it's consumed. It's a chance, but still, that's really going to smooth out that Demon Hunter damage intake. Shear has gone through the most changes out of any ability, and in such a great and impactful way. Instead of having 3 abilities that play together for your co-rotation, now you have your generator and your spender, like a lot of other classes. I don't think this really cheapens that experience and the class uniqueness. I think it just really removes a lot of unnecessary complexity. Next we're going to be looking at Soul Cleave and Shattered Souls. First I want to talk about Shattered Souls. In my previous video when I was looking at some of the abilities for the Vengeance Demon Hunter, I was talking about how Shattered Souls didn't really feel like anything. Well, now those souls actually appear and you can run over them to pick them up. This really removes my biggest complaint about them, is that they didn't really feel impactful, like they were anything. But now they actually are around and you can pick them up, and Soul Cleave pulls any soul fragments in within 20 yards. Soul Fragments also heal 25% of your maximum health. Again, really smoothing out that damage intake for the Vengeance Demon Hunter. Soul Cleave still costs 40 pain, still does a conal frontal damage, and gives you a guaranteed 10% of your maximum health heal. In addition to that, like I said, it draws in soul fragments. So now you have a reason to actually sit on your pain so that you can soul cleave at the right time when you're low and pull in a lot of fragments and really top yourself up, or just use it for that damage. just keep yourself from getting pain capped. This whole change, it's so much better than it used to be. It really feels a lot more fluid and a lot more intuitive just jumping into the class. So with that said, now we'll take a look at the talent trees, which have been revised. A lot of abilities have been changed or pruned or moved. So we'll take a look at the first tier with Fellblade and Abyssal Strike. The big change for Abyssal Strike is that it no longer generates that 20 pain that it used to, and because of this, I find Fellblade to be a better talent choice. Reason being is that it gives you a damaging ability that does more damage than Soul Cleave, causes you to charge to your target, giving you additional mobility, and generates 20 pain, which gives you more resources to do things with. Why I used to like Abyssal Strike is because of that pain generation, and so I was using it on cooldown then. But now, because our pain generation feels like it's in a much better place, that reduced cooldown on Abyssal Strike, traded for more damage, more pain, and mobility, seems to be like an easy choice. Because of that, I'm settling on Fellblade for now. In the second tier, we have Agonizing Flames, Blade Turning, and Feast of Souls. Feast of Souls gives you that additional hot when you Soul Cleave, much like it did before. Blade Turning has pain generation through parries like it did before, but Agonizing Pain, and this is where I think it really shines, still has that 100% increased damage but causes it to generate 14 additional pain on top of its 20. Because of this, it makes it feel like it has better place in a single target rotation, and because it's 34 pain just for activating Immolation Aura, that's a free Soul Cleave right on top of that, basically. The next tier we have Burning Alive, Pain Tolerance, and Fracture. Fracture being a new talent. Brutally slam your target for more damage than Fellblade and Soul Cleave, and generate a Lesser Soul Fragment from them. Lesser Soul Fragments are the ones that heal you for 10% of your maximum health. So it's a big cooldown, guaranteed 10% heal for no resource. Nice to have, but I like Burning Alive better still. Pain Tolerance, I think, is even more useless than it used to be because you should never really find yourself below 20 pain with how easy it is to generate pain through your abilities. 2 GCDs and this talent becomes useless. I think we'll see it change again soon. Burning Alive, every 2 seconds, your firebrand deals more fire damage and spreads from the primary target to a nearby enemy. Again, this is primary target, the one it was casted on, not a target that has fiery brand on it. So you want to cast it on the big target so it spreads to all the little guys. I still think that this is definitely beating out Pain Tolerance, and Fracture may have some niche use to it, but Burning Alive makes your single target cooldown affect an entire group, which I think is just too powerful to pass up. In the next tier, we have a coming soon, Quicken Sigils and Soul Rending. Quicken Sigils and Soul Rending are kind of a toss-up now because gaining 100% leech while Metamorphosis is active, and it's active for 20 seconds, that is a huge amount of increased health gain. Quicken Sigils activate 1 second faster and their cooldowns are reduced by 15%. This is exactly what I was hoping for when I was going over their talents the first time around. And so I chose it because I just want to see how it plays out, and I'm really liking how many more grips, silences, and AoE flames that I can get out of that. I actually have not found myself using Metamorphosis quite as much as I used to because our pain generation is in a much better place, and so I'm able to get those Soul Cleaves out for the 10% heals and the occasional 10% heals from Sheer. That and weaving cooldowns throughout make us feel a lot stronger, and because of that I went with Quicken Sigils. You may prefer Soul Rending for that leech for the emergency cooldown usage, and we'll have to see what happens when this new talent coming soon comes in. With that said, that brings us to the next tier, Bathe in Flame, Sigil of Misery, and Soulmate. This is where Nemesis used to be, and I kind of like that it got removed because it felt a little necessary but also a little bit clunky, because if you're in a dungeon that has different mob types, then you cast it on one guy and you realize, oh wait, nothing in that next wing is of that same type. Like I could just kill the dragonkin and the rest of the wing is humanoid, so that was useless, and now I have to wait 2 minutes for it to be useful again. So I'm glad it was removed, and in its place we have Bathe in Flame. The cooldown of Immolation Aura is reduced by 3 seconds and its radius is increased by 50%. This, in combination with Agonizing Flames, feels really, really strong, because now our Immolation Aura has that 12-second cooldown, 6-second uptime, so it lasts half as long as it is. And you're also being able to damage more things around you, making more things stick to you, create that death ball as a tank. Sigil of Misery is good crowd control. Again, I'm not sure how that disorient can break. I know Blind was able to break before. I don't know really how that change has really affected us, but I'm still preferring Bathe in Flames for that quality of life, things sticking to you factor. Soulmate may be very useful in a raiding environment, but I haven't found it to be useful in dungeons. Soul Cleave heals your soulmate for 10% of their maximum health, and because you're going to be soul cleaving a lot more, this is definitely going to improve damage intake for tanks overall, so we'll see if it has a place in a raiding environment. Currently I'm sticking with Bathe in Flame just because I really like the pain generation coming from Immolation Aura. This helps with that, increases the radius, makes running dungeons easier. That's definitely where this one will shine. We'll see what happens with Soulmate when this actually goes live. We'll see what the raiding environment's like. The next tier, we have Hellgate, Concentrated Sigils, and Razor Spikes. I want to talk about Concentrated Sigils first, because this was my biggest problem with Quicken Sigils. They split it into two talents, and also Sigils are now targeted at your location, and the duration of their effect is increased by 2 seconds. So this causes your Sigil of Flame to do more damage, your Sigil of Silence to silence for longer, and the slow applied by Sigil of Change to apply longer. But it's placed on you. I still really prefer to have the freedom to place my sigils where they want, and that extra second I don't really care about. Razor Spikes. While Demon Form is active, your physical damage dealt is increased by 25%, and your melee attacks snare targets by 50% for 6 seconds. This will have some niche uses. I think it will definitely shine more in a PvP setting, and if we really need damage bumps, then we can take that for the physical damage increase, but a lot of our damage is fire, so I don't really see how this fits in with the rest of us. And because of that, I will probably be going with Hellgate as it increases our mobility. When Sigil of Flame activates, you are teleported to its location and force all affected enemies to attack you for 6 seconds. So that basically gives us a 25.5 second AoE taunt. Plus it does damage, plus we get mobility. It just feels really strong. Now, depending on how that teleport works, it may feel a little bit clunky, making one of the other talent choices here be something that you use just because it's that much easier to work with, but on paper, Hellgate seems to be the way to go for this. 110, we have a Coming Soon, and Revel in Pain, and Last Resort. Revel in Pain and Last Resort are kind of two sides of the same coin. Revel in Pain causes us to be healed for 20% of the fire damage we deal, and a lot of the damage that we deal is fire damage, while Last Resort gives us a cheat death, which instantly pops us into Metamorphosis and returns us to 30% of our health. And while it may only occur every 5 minutes, if you combine Last Resort and Soul Rending, that would be dead to full almost right away, I'm sure of it. Revel in Pain gives you that staying power throughout the fight, smooths down your damage intake, and so gives healers that extra bit of time for them to top them up yourself. So it really is, well, what am I feeling like? Is there a mechanic that I might need to cheese, so I want that cheat death? Or is there just a lot of damage going out overall, so I want to help my healers out? That's where the 110 tier comes in. And both seem like really strong choices, and there's definitely going to be uses for both of them. So now that we've gone through both the spellbook and the revised talents, I really think that the Vengeance Demon Hunter is in a much better place than it was when the alpha first came out. I think the iteration that's gone into their core rotation has really improved pain generation, making us able to make the right decisions, choose which ability to use at the right time, as well as making it feel a lot more like what we're doing is significant. Every button that you're pressing now really feels like it has more of an impact. We're still going to be weaving our cooldowns throughout because they're short cooldowns, but we're now having the ability to have the resources ready to do them when we want them, rather than just really scurry and try to get as much fury and pain, and just it's a lot less frenetic and more concentrated while still having that really heightened feeling of I can be anywhere on the battlefield because I'm so mobile. And you have the utility that really complements that, and the entire experience has shifted from okay, can I do this, can I do this, can I do this, can I do this, to now, okay, I got this and here are my tools to do it. The removal of Fellblade into a talent that gives mobility is great. Having Shear be your primary generator and Soul Cleave still being your spender, they still have very strong interplay with the minor soul fragments, and now soul fragments are actually in the greater sense. You can see them on the field. The whole feeling of the class has shifted in the best possible way, and I'm really excited to see where this goes in the future. I've run a couple dungeons so far, and I'll get those videos up soon. And the entire time I felt a lot more confident in the class and its ability to handle what was being thrown at it. So again, as always, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one.